Hi guys, welcome back to Finpact. Today I'm going to keep it a very chatty video about what Michael Burry thinks about the current economic climate. He's come out and said a lot of things, and for those of you guys that don't know, Michael Burry is the same guy from The Big Short. If you guys have watched the movie The Big Short, he's played by Christian Bale, and he is one of the predictors of the housing market crash, and he profited millions from the crash by, well, making a big short trade against the market. Now, this was at a time where there was a huge housing market bubble. House prices were absolutely rallying, and so many people were buying these mortgage-backed securities that had turned to absolute crap. So he has had a track record in predicting how the markets move. So let's take a look at what he's been saying recently. So Michael Burry has always been quite outspoken about the fact that Tesla has been largely overvalued. In fact, when the Tesla stock price was hitting its peak around November 2021, when we saw bull runs across the board in the crypto markets and in the stock markets, he did call the crash for Tesla stock. He said it would lose at least 80 to 90% of its value. As you can see, he warned that Tesla shares were in a bubble and were destined to crash. One thing that I think that Michael Burry is very good at is catching when there is a bubble and when there would be a subsequent crash. So it's interesting because he did it with the 2008 housing market crash. And he also said the same about Tesla. Now, look, I am an advocate of Tesla for the long term. I personally am bullish on it. But yeah, he may have been right about it being overvalued. I mean, we were seeing overinflated prices, not just in the stock markets, but also in the crypto markets. There was a huge boom. There was tons of euphoria in the market after the pandemic. People got greedy, very excited, and thought the markets would continue to keep rising when that's never going to be the case, because the intrinsic value of a security is not going to constantly just increase with zero logic behind it. So I definitely think that Michael Burry does catch the concept of irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance is when a lot of people collectively come together and they hype up a stock or an asset class or whatever it is. Like it says in the word irrational exuberance, it's an irrational thing. You know, so many people were rallying up cryptocurrency prices, especially ones that had no real value, and they just crashed. And that is exactly irrational exuberance at its best, especially when so many people were saying, oh, this crypto is going to rocket and go to the moon. Let's be honest, if you guys have seen my previous videos, I never said it would rocket and go to the moon. I said that on launch days, they could rocket because there was so much excitement and community behind that particular crypto, but it would likely follow a crash. And as I've always said, it's not financial advice and that cryptocurrencies are very volatile. Well, Michael Burry does understand this concept, and I do think he does make us think a little bit more about the true fundamental nature of a crypto or a stock, rather than us just rushing into a bubble-like industry. Another really interesting thing is that you guys all know that inflation has been sky high and has been one of the biggest cause of our woes in the stock and crypto markets. It's really caused a lot of cost pressures for lots of companies, and it's caused the cost of living to increase. People have less disposable income, so they have less to spend on goods and services, and this causes economic activity to decline. Now, as we start seeing inflation data coming each month, so the month of January telling us December's inflation, the month of Feb telling us Jan's, when we get these inflation results, if we see improvements, what Michael Burry thinks is that if we do see improvements and the Fed does decide to stop interest rate hikes, then we could go tumbling back into a second inflation hike. Now, as much as I don't want to agree with this, I do think this is a big possibility. Of course, this is not financial advice or anything, and no one can predict, but I do get his reasoning, and I personally would think the same, that if we rush into stopping interest rate hikes really quickly, then it could take us back to square one, and that's not what we want, because that will further decline and deteriorate the current economic situation. Now, just to show you guys the other side, I do understand why the Fed may want to stop interest rate hikes. Of course, they will want to lower interest rates if they see improvements in inflation, because it is a method of stimulating the economy. You know, when you lower interest rates, the cost of borrowing goes down. More people are inclined to take out loans, and that basically increases the demand for goods and services as there's a new injection of capital and money basically into the market and into people's disposable incomes. He also goes on to say that if the Fed does stop interest rate hikes, then there is a large risk. And he says that he expects the US to be in a recession by any definition. I mean, it does sort of make sense. Look what he said. He said, we're likely to see CPI lower, possibly negative in the second half of 2023. By the way, negative inflation is not a good thing either. A healthy inflation target, usually for most central banks, is plus minus 2%, preferably on the plus side. And then in this case, he also goes on to say that, the US will likely be in a recession by any definition. He said, Fed will cut and government will stimulate. He means the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates and then the government will put out stimulus packages and, just, sort of expansionary fiscal policies. And that will end up causing another inflation spike, which will cause another recession. Not great. Lastly, check this out. This was very interesting. Michael Burry came out and said that he says audits of crypto exchanges like Binance and FTX are meaningless. Now, just to summarize this article on Bitcoin.com, why he said this is because he says that most auditors don't actually know how to audit a crypto exchange. I do think this could be a very valid point that he makes, because crypto and blockchain is a very niche industry. And I do believe that not everyone in maybe the large audit firms would be specialized in cryptos and blockchain unless they've personally used it. So let's see. This may be true for now, at least according to Michael Burry. No one really knows. There are specialist audit firms that are coming out that do target the crypto industry and crypto exchanges. So maybe they will gain greater market share for this. But I do get his point when it comes to the traditional audit firms. And maybe these audit firms will start investing more in specializing in cryptocurrencies and blockchain audits. Okay, lastly, before I round this video off, I do want to mention that although he did say that Tesla is overvalued and he thinks it's a low margin business with lots of different competitors, if Tesla was an unprofitable business, if demand was not there, then why? You tell me why. Would they just decide to spend $775 million expanding the Gigafactory Texas electric vehicle plant near Austin? I mean, if you don't have funds, if you're not profit making, you're not going to go on this large expansion plan, and $775 million is no joke. Now, just again, to play devil's advocate and maybe support Michael Burry's point, well, not really directly support, but you know how we said Tesla is overvalued? Well, you guys all know the CEO of Tesla is Elon Musk, and a lot of people speculate on Tesla, not just because it's an amazing electric vehicle company, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, but people also believe in Elon Musk, and he's gained a lot of fame and recognition and respect or disrespect, depending on your view, based on a lot of the stuff he's come out and said, and the fact that he, heads SpaceX and Tesla. There's so much that Elon Musk has contributed towards this modern economy. I mean, he's been a big advocate of crypto. So seeing this may definitely not help Tesla's case or Twitter's case or any of the companies that Elon Musk runs. But yeah, Elon Musk saw a drop in his fortune, and it actually broke a world record. In fact, he lost around $165 billion from November 2021 to December 2022. And this has made it onto the Guinness World Records. So also notice he lost this wealth largely, this was the height of it in the bull run and the bear market. So yeah, like I said, a lot of the companies he is heading and the CEO of, they have lost a lot of value in their stock prices. And it makes sense because people tend to speculate on Elon Musk's companies a lot more. So if Elon Musk suddenly became back to where he was during the bull run, then sure, I would expect that if the economy recovers, people will see Tesla and maybe Dogecoin's price rally again. But again, no one really knows, and empires don't always last. So anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of Elon Musk? I'm very neutral because I like to give you guys an unbiased opinion. I will tell you just a bit of an overview of my opinion on Elon Musk, and that is that I think he's very innovative, and I do think he's smart, and he is able to bring out new changes and technology and new ways of conducting things for this planet, to be honest. But I think he tends to also be quite rash in his decisions, but let's see how it pans out. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, none of this is financial advice, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.